If you just so happen to be new to GlobeTrotting, be sure to hit that subscribe button, it would mean a lot. The Airbus A380 is being phased out by many airlines around the world, despite enjoying a bit of a resurgence. If you take a look at the vast majority of companies that have this aircraft type within their fleet, they are more looking towards how they're going to say goodbye to it rather than keep it around. But the important question is, can the upcoming 777X from Boeing be its perfect replacement? This question is critical for airlines that are in the process of renewing their fleet and moving towards more efficient and flexible aircraft. Ultimately, the A380, while it is the world's largest commercial airliner, does come with a great degree of complexities that have made it unfavourable for most airlines who are now looking to move on. Therefore, can the 777X play a role for decades to come? Well, first of all, why does the A380 need a replacement? Being the world's largest passenger plane, it didn't necessarily have the impact that maybe the plane maker may have originally liked when it was at the launch stage. We know though, however, it comes with a sheer amount of capacity that was destined to try and help airlines propel their network forward. However, while the aircraft catered to the hub and spoke model that was championed by airlines right around the world in the latter stages of the 1900s, by the time the 2000s arrived, well, things dramatically changed. What airlines were once looking to do was no longer required, and airlines were instead preferring twin-engine planes, which came with better economics and greater opportunities for flexibility. This wasn't every single airline, don't get me wrong here. Look no further than Emirates, massive supporters of the world's largest passenger plane, even extending over to Qantas. It's just the degree of airlines that were supporting this type of operation was dramatically reducing, and as a result, the efficiency levels to have the A380 aboard wasn't there, and airlines were moving away from this to other alternatives. The four-engine design just wasn't deemed the most optimal choice. Additionally, shifting market dynamics certainly, you could say, eroded the relevance of the A380. Point-to-point travel became dominant, and airlines responded by investing in these smaller planes. The A380 was therefore not required for many companies that had committed to it, and as such, there was little interest in the program. So replacements have needed to come to fill this void that is going to be left at some point. From a sheer scale standpoint, the A380, 800 and 777-9 may appear to be worlds apart, given one is a double-decker and one is not. However, digging deeper into their specifications and really improvements we see through the 777X highlight differences and similarities and really help provide that discussion point around replacement efforts. The A380-800 can boast a maximum seating capacity of over 800 if an airline wanted an all-economy layout. Now, no airline has configured their planes to sit this many, but look no further than Emirates, with some of their aircraft able to sit over 600. It means the sheer scale is more than evident, and it will always be significantly bigger than any plane on the market. The 777-9, which is part of Boeing's new 777X series, does represent a new era for an existing beloved plane that was launched in the 1990s, being able to sit up to 426 passengers in a typical two-class configuration. It also comes with a pretty attractive range of 7,200-ish nautical miles. The maximum takeoff weight is lighter than that of the A380. It allows for flexibility, and we know that the 777-9 is also powered by those GEnx engines, where Boeing promises them to be 10% more fuel efficient than competitors, and furthermore have great efficiency standards compared to your outgoing quad-engine planes. Certainly one key difference lies in that all-important passenger experience. The A380 promises a spacious cabin and quieter ride, and its therefore opportunities remain unrivaled, whereas the 777-9 introduces things such as larger windows and improvements from a passenger noise output. You can see the differences, and you can see why one aircraft over the other may appeal to some companies. From a similarity standpoint, both aircraft target long-haul operations and will always cater to premium-heavy markets, allowing airlines to configure layouts to suit specific demands across their network, whether that is, like I touched on, a more premium-heavy configuration or at times one that more leans on your economy class. However, the twin-engine nature of the 777-9 represents a leap over the A380, which is to be expected. Despite this, from a pure capacity standpoint, as I touched on at the beginning of this segment, the 777-9 doesn't stack up against the A380 by any means, but for airlines, they would consider all the improvements I've touched on among the many others to be a more rewarding option than retaining, say, the world's largest passenger plane. Really digging deeper into the 777X, it was launched to meet the industry's continuing evolution, with airlines demanding more planes that were efficient and well positioned to also succeed the 777-300ER. Did it potentially launch earlier than some may have expected? Certainly, but a lot of that has been negated by the fact that while it launched in 2013, as we stand here today in 2025, the plane has still not entered commercial operations. Furthermore, Boeing would argue that the 777X series is able to compete with the A350-1000 over at rival Airbus, which is the only other option realistically to help replace aging quad-engined aircraft such as the A380 and even extended to the 747 from a high-capacity standpoint. While some people may argue that you can slot in the 787-10, if we're really looking at a larger capacity, those are our two options. With both the 747 and A380 no longer in production, the 777-9 is able to fill a crucial gap in the market. It can therefore assert itself as the ideal replacement for future options at airlines. The A350-1000, for example, is capable of seating up to 410 passengers and comes with a very healthy range as well. Further advancements to this program are visibly seen through the ULR variant that is going to be launched for Qantas's Project Sunrise missions. So ultimately, the 777X can serve as a solution and an advancement at the same time for companies that may be looking to renew their fleet, while for Boeing, they're able to fend off some of the competition from the A350-1000, which continues to advance in a sector as a pretty reliable option. While the 777X today remains a successor to the A380, it isn't the perfect replacement, it must be said. The A380 will, thanks to its capabilities, mean it'll forever be technically unmatched in terms of capacity and appeal within the industry just because of its sheer scale. The reality is the only way we would have seen a dedicated A380 replacement is either from Airbus producing a plane on that scale again, or Boeing. The 777X isn't intended to be that, but as I've continued to state in this video and many before, industry trends have dramatically shifted, and with that, the airlines too. A plane with the A380's status is no longer required for some, and it means that airlines have also had to adapt. Thanks to the market's shifting, while no, the 777X may not be the most ideal like-for-like replacement, the aircraft has seemingly worked its way into the conversation, for nothing else is on the market. The true picture, however, and I think the most fascinating thing to follow for the 777X replacing the A380 will be as the years progress. We've already seen some airlines purchase the 777X and discuss their early plans, but unfortunately, given the fact that the 777X is yet to have entered scheduled passenger operations, the dialogue surrounding this upcoming plane has unfortunately been more negative rather than positively geared. For example, instead of an airline saying where they would like to deploy their 777X or how it'll fit into their network, the bigger question is when on earth are they actually going to get their aircraft? Hopefully throughout 2025, as the 777X program moves forward in a positive direction, and I say positive like that because it's never a given, we will see more airlines begin to understand that they are going to get this new plane, finally, and will be able to then publicly plan and behind closed doors finalize route placements, fleet retirements, and so much more. Thanks very much for tuning into this video here on GlobeTrotting. To conclude, the 777X, a fantastic replacement for the A380. It won't be the perfect option, but it certainly is for many companies an option there to move forward while still leveraging those high capacity and high range benefits. Thanks for watching this video here on GlobeTrotting. Take care, do indeed be safe, and I'll see you in a couple of days for your latest industry analysis. And we'll